Hello everyone, it's SpawnPoiint and today we're taking a closer look at Panasonic's latest OLED TV, the LZ980. It's a 4K OLED screen with HDR, Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos support, but it's also packing some serious gaming features, which includes HDMI 2.1, VRR and 120Hz. On top of that, Panasonic have their own gaming menu called the Game Control Board, which is an awesome feature to have. So last week I did an unboxing on the channel and I went through the entire setup process. And first impressions were good. In fact, I was surprised at how well it performed for gaming, and it's fair to say that their gaming focused features are massively underrated. So that's what I wanted to do today, concentrate on the gaming side and how it performs on the PS5 and Xbox Series X. Now Panasonic have loaned me this TV and this video is sponsored, but all opinions and thoughts are 100% my own, as with every video that I create. So the model that I have here is the 48-inch version, but it's also available in 42, 55 and 65 inches. So whether you wanted a 42-inch monitor for your desk or a 65-inch in the living room, this TV should tick most of the boxes. And when it comes to the picture quality and how it handles a selection of games and movies that I've played on it, I've been very impressed. Now throwing an animated HDR movie on will always look impressive, as this shows off the colours and vibrancy pretty well, but it's when you go looking for the black levels and how it handles the dark areas of a movie or a game is where you truly appreciate the advantages of an OLED. Those inky blacks and contrast levels mean you're getting a near perfect picture without worrying about blooming or washed out colours. But one of the big features of this TV is Dolby Vision and Dolby Vision IQ support. This means any content that is Dolby Vision optimized or certified will work on here. And this is always my preferred format out of the two HDR options. So it's great to see that Panasonic have included this on their TVs. And as you can see, the contrast, the highlights and the shadows of this TV are handled really well, especially in HDR. And if we take a look at the brightness, well, OLEDs generally speaking don't get quite as bright as a traditional LCD TV, but during the 2 weeks of using this, I've been running the luminance at around 80%, and that has been perfectly fine for me. And as mentioned, this is a 4K screen, so any games that are optimized for 4K will look absolutely stunning on here. But what's more is this TV also supports HDMI 2.1. So Panasonic have included something called Game Mode Extreme, and essentially it makes their new OLED TVs ready for gaming on the PS5, Xbox or PC. This gives us 120Hz, ALLM and VRR, or the variable refresh rate. This means games that support 4K and 120Hz are crazy smooth with no stuttering or screen tearing. And taking a look at the Xbox and the PS5 screens, it's great to see all of those green ticks showing what the TV is capable of delivering. So the first thing that I did was set up the PlayStation 5 and tested out a few different games including Spider-Man, Gran Turismo 7, Ratchet & Clank and a few others, both during the day and at night to see how this TV performed in all situations that I would normally play in. Spider-Man is a fast-paced game, so there's loads of movement and motion, so if the TV was going to stutter or lag, this was going to be it. And for me, this turned out to be crazy smooth. But it's not just the fast-paced games that look good with this smooth motion handling and high frame rates, it's any game that I tested. Take Gran Turismo 7, this game looks crazy clear, smooth and vibrant. I'm hoping this translates through the video, but it looks awesome. And bearing in mind this TV is not calibrated yet. Sure, I've tweaked the brightness and the color temp, but that's it. It looks this good straight out of the box. Then if you do want to hook up a gaming PC, this TV also supports AMD FreeSync Premium, so you're going to get a fluid and tear-free gaming experience on there as well. So we know this TV is clearly capable of delivering a decent gaming experience because it ticks all of those boxes for both consoles. But the fact that Panasonic have gone above and beyond just giving us HDMI 2.1 and calling it a day says a lot about their focus on gamers. So they've integrated this gaming menu into their TV, and this is called the Game Control Board. You can either pin this to your app area like I have here, or you can assign it to the My Apps button. So by pressing this button, it will open the app by default. Now within the Game Control Board, it gives you quick access to some handy features, settings that you can change on the fly without needing to dive into the main settings area. Things like enabling VRR, switching the picture profiles, or checking if the 120Hz bypass mode is enabled. And if you press the I on the remote control, it gives you the current frame rate and resolution, so you can always check if you're running your games at the optimum mode. Or if you press more information on the Game Control Board, it gives us even more information on the current input and game. For me, this shows that Panasonic are targeting gamers who want more control over their settings on the go. It's a nice touch and something that's pretty underrated. So I've talked about gaming and that is the focus of today's video, but let me quickly highlight the movie focus features as well. Now, not only does this pack all of the gaming features that we'd need, it also comes with Dolby Vision support. So any Ultra HD disc or streaming service that supports that will look awesome. as well as the filmmaker mode, which allows any content to be displayed as the director intended. Now, as this is an OLED, the viewing angles are almost perfect. This means that no matter where you place the TV in your room or on your desk, you'll still see the picture with no loss in quality, contrast or colour. This is still one of the biggest selling points of an OLED, as you don't need to sit straight on for the optimum picture. The only compromise is reflections, but this panel does have a slight anti-glare coating. We're not talking a matte finish here, so there's nothing to worry about. It is still glossy, but it's got a tinted finish so it appears darker and helps reduce those mirror-like reflections in your room. So I've mentioned this TV supports 120Hz, VRR and 4K gaming, but what about the available ports? Well, around the back we have a total of 4 HDMI ports. 2 of these are HDMI 2.0 and 2 are HDMI 2.1. This means you can plug in 2 consoles or a console and a soundbar via the eARC port, and you still have 2 ports available for non-120Hz gaming. Looking at the design and the overall appearance of the LZ980, it's a pretty normal looking TV as far as OLEDs go. We've got the raised stand in the middle that is plastic, although it has a brushed metal finish. And then we've got the thin frame and bezels around the outside of the screen. There's just a small chin across the bottom which houses the Panasonic logo. Now the stand is also raised just enough that you should be able to fit a soundbar underneath if you needed. But as you'd expect, this TV does come with speakers built in. Now, although I usually use external speakers most of the time in my setups, the speakers on this are surprisingly good for such a small screen. So it supports Dolby Atmos sound processing, which makes a difference at creating that immersive cinematic sound in your room. I have found that setting the volume between 30 and 35 is ideal, and it gives a nice balance between voice clarity and bass, without distorting either.
Oh, man.
Hey, what happened to sleeping?
Okay. I know it doesn't look like it, but this here is not a bad read. Only one problem. Right there. To be continued.
And outside of gaming and watching TV, you might be interested in the menus, the UI and the settings. And as mentioned during my unboxing video, this has been one of the snappiest UIs I've ever used. So tapping the home button brings up the app bar across the bottom, which you can rearrange as you'd like, and you have all of the normal apps like Netflix, Prime and Apple TV. Then if you press the My Apps button, it brings up the full app list as well as access to the App Store. Then we have the picture settings and sound settings area, where you can switch off motion processing, enable the game mode, ALLM and loads more. Now I've talked about a lot of the pros and the advantages of this TV, but what are the negatives or the features that it's missing? So although it comes with 2 HDMI 2.1 ports, one of those are reserved for eARC. So let's say you had a soundbar, a PlayStation 5 and an Xbox Series X. You wouldn't be able to use all 3 using the 2 available ports. One of those consoles would then need to be plugged into the HDMI 2.0 port. It also doesn't support HGIG or G-Sync. So if these were features that you were looking for, well, you won't get them on this model. But even with all of that said, this TV packs a lot of features. That includes HDR10, HDR10+, Dolby Vision, 120Hz, VRR and a decent gaming menu. So if you were looking for a 42 or 48-inch OLED for your gaming setup, this would be an easy recommendation based on what it can offer. Now I have linked to this TV below, but here are the current sizes and prices as of today. Now if you drop a gaming OLED in the comments, I will give you a thumbs up for staying right till the end. And if you did enjoy today's video, check out this video next. Thanks for watching, please like, sub and follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Until next time.